Yesterday, I was listening to a conversation, like overhearing a conversation that was about dopamine in people, like in our instant gratification kind of topics. And it led me to thinking about that, like, really driving force that we have going on with people wanting like instant results or like quick fixes or like, you know, whatever it might be, right? Like I saw a commercial for if you want your hair to grow faster, like buy this shampoo.
Really?
Yeah. and then I had somebody, and this is like a reoccurring story all the time. I had somebody that I was working on for the first time, like working on their body, and they'd never had a massage before in their whole life, and they're like in their 60s, and of course they were in pretty rough shape about it.
I bet.
Lots of years of tension and stress and whatnot held in there, and they thought that coming for one massage was going to
Fix
do the trick,
everything.
right? And I was like, well, probably a few. We could do something significant with a few sessions, but the point isn't really like, now that I'm crippled, I just want a quick relief thing. The point is like, take care of your body anyway. This is not a conversation about massage per se. But it occurs everywhere. And the other thing that I was reading was an article about, you know, the medical world learning so much right now, doing so much work around cardiovascular health and disease, and the number one thing, the only thing really that can be fundamentally recommended right now is a drug, right? And people want that because
the easy.
Because the discussion in this article was like the lifestyle changes and the like overhauls to the way that a person exists is like a lot of work. It's a big change, and yet we can give them something that thins or thickens or modulates or whatever, and they can stay the course that they're on. And I wanted to grapple with that today because, like, so much of what we practice, you know, like I can go to the Peruvian jungle and have some kind of medicinal trip and realize that I'm one with everything. But I can, you know, just in one time, but I can also have been doing that already in lifestyle practice for a decade or more. Right. And lots, for many people, like tons of decades. And get to the same end point result. And the grapple is like, it's not, we can exhaustively talk about why we want quick ways of doing things till the cows come home. But the thing that I'm grappling with is like, everybody wants a quicker way. Like maybe the quicker way is just the better way. Like what is wrong with, you know, any one of the directions, or what's the better way? Or
it's a great question. And yeah, because I ask myself that. I, you know, have people that are dear to me who live a life that's easy and the quick way, and who am I to say that that isn't the best for them, you know? And so I often have this conversation with my husband, and he, you know, will criticize them. Oh, they're not living, like they're not eating as well as we do. They're not making the better food choices. And he's got like this food snob attitude about, therefore we're better or something, right? It's like, no, we're not. Like we can actually do life any way we want.
But we do have this judgment. It's there.
True.
And so there's something built into us. We want a quick fix, but we also are having the experience of like, but there is a better way, and it's this way.
Right.
Like,
and I guess the question is, I'm going to challenge that, because I'm going to challenge it first, but I'll probably come back to my results because I obviously make a choice that's different. But my question is it better? Like, at the end of the day, you know, the long haul of doing the work and going, like massage is such a great example, right? And I go every 2 weeks to keep my body in as supple ability as possible, because that works for me. Whereas somebody has gone 60 years and never gone, and they show up and now they're starting. So the work that it took me to so I'm 60, so the work that it took me to get to this place and be supple the way I am, and then they didn't, but they're going to start the work.
We're not talking about starting the work. We're talking about now that I'm crippled, I'm come for a session, or I took the pain pill, or whatever, like the thing might be, like, or maybe this fancy tool that they're selling me online or whatever.
I guess the question is,
and they want, we all want the, like,
right,
just make it easier for me.
For sure. So I guess the question that I'm grappling with myself is, does it work for you? Like so when we talk about what kind of life do we want to live, or what is our dream life, and are we living it? And if we're not living it, then what is it we're doing in this life that we're living that is not working for us? Like, can we actually look at that? And so for me, answering that question, I get a pretty clear indicator of things that aren't working for me, and I make a decision. Sometimes the fix is the longer route, but I make a decision to take that route because at the end of the day, I want a life that works for me. So,
but you could also buy into the quick fixes of this world, which I believe most of the time are not actual fixes.
That's my point. So I think the quick fix has this temporary relief from it not working for me. Where my experience is that the long route, which has the longer results, I'm not getting that dopamine hit for a while, is that it's not a short-term result. It's a long-term result. Like, so the person for the quick fix, it's a short-term result, temporary, that they're getting temporary relief from a life that isn't working for them.
Right.
And they're right back where they started. And sometimes they're not even right back where they started. They're now a little bit worse off.
Right.
Because that quick fix is never the solution. It's really actually...
Yeah, it can serve as like a Band-Aid to some existence.
Right.
Or whatever.
Band-Aid always reminds me of the story of a car, right? When we talk about when the light comes flashing on your car to say that there's something wrong, your engine needs checking. How many of us take a Band-Aid and just cover it up? That would be a quick fix. That's what we do all the time to our own bodies. And yet hardly ever do we do that to our car.
Right.
The oil light comes on and we book an appointment and get an oil change. And we put effort into it, and we keep our cars, most of us, have this idea that this is how we make our car live long and well for us. And yet we do that with ourselves so much. We think tomorrow, or I'll just,
I would argue that you know yourself and me and like a few other people who look after their cars like that, but I would argue that most of them end up in the landfills because they're not being serviced. Like, most people statistically aren't getting the value and the life longevity out of their vehicle because they're not doing
it. Well, same with life then. Most people aren't getting the value and the longevity out of their life because they're looking for the quick fix. They're looking for the easy route.
So what can any of those people that are currently on that trajectory do? Like, because the quick fixes are alluring.
They totally are. 100% they totally are. What can they do? I mean, I think,
how do you get out of running on that like treadmill of like just little temporary reliefs and temporary reliefs and temporary reliefs? Like, I brought them up not to talk about the other people that do that, but to talk about that everybody does it, and our world has conditioned us for it, and it's marketed to us, and that it's like everything is set up in a way to be on that treadmill.
Right. We had this conversation earlier.
And there's a different way, and it's a long way.
We had this conversation earlier about life and the proverbial 2x4, right? I mean, isn't that exactly what happens?
Right.
Is that all of us, we take the easy route, and life is pushing us to take the easy route, and yet, not life, but the world.
Yeah,
Circumstances
and
is saying, go this
beliefs
way, and your friends, come this way, do this. And yet life is signaling us to do it differently. And most people, I would say most of us, don't listen to that first indicator, that whisper that, oh, that's not the best choice. And, I was at the dentist this week, and this dentist is very thorough. She took my blood pressure. I'm like, well, that's cool. Anyway, she said that most people that come in who are in their 20s and 30s, she takes their blood pressure, and their blood pressure is way in the unhealthy levels.
That was in this cardiovascular health article as well, yeah. Kids and young adults.
Right? And here I am, 62, and my blood pressure is of a healthy, active person. She's like, wow, it's great. She said, did you know? and so what are they doing? They're going and getting those sugary coffee drinks, and isn't this fun? We get together with our friends and we have this thing and we sit down and eat these really pretty, I go into the shop
quite
and
pretty.
They're very pretty, right? They've got little streaks in them and bubblies and things going on.
Layers.
Right? And sit down and have one of those, and maybe, don't exercise, maybe spend a lot of time looking at the phone instead of out going for a walk with a friend. And they're choices that people are making, and yet life whispers us to go in a different direction, and we don't listen. And eventually that 2x4 of life is going to come and say,
yeah,
you need to make a
no
change.
quick fixes anymore.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
And I see it in the people who've lived that way, and they're in their 60s, 70s, or even before they hit 40. Often it's when people hit 40 that it's like, oh dear, I need to start making changes.
Right.
We can choose to make them earlier and not hit this oh dear at 40, the 2x4.
Yeah.
I think that's the lesson. It's like, yeah, it's fine. And for me, I was so grateful because my mom was one of those people, 87, going to exercise classes and just loving that she would do more push-ups than the 60-year-olds in her class, like she was just so excited to be such a fit 87-year-old. And she always had this conversation like, what's my purpose in life? And I'd say, Mom, are you kidding me? Like, you're showing other women specifically what is possible when you make choices that are right for you. And she was a woman who just always looked after herself in that way, looked after herself in, listened to her desires, followed those, took care of herself physically, and she lived in a very healthy elder life.
She did.
And there's lots who don't.
Yeah.
So I had that example, and I think that made it easier for me to say, oh, there's a difference happening over here.
I wonder, as you're telling this story, I'm wondering if the sort of draw towards temporary relief also ties into the things, just the things that we're resisting in our life. Like we don't want to go towards what we're resisting, so we like, well, maybe I'll just grab this over here and then I don't have to do that or whatever. So looking at the places in your life that you're resisting doing something or living a way you want to live, really, or the stuff that's uncomfortable or challenging or hard or long or
for sure.
And that those quick fixes, those like easy things to grasp, like are put there, like just so, they're so available. If you don't have to look over there, well, I can do this.
And
so then I feel like I'm doing
and
something.
Tempting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a family member who just separated from their spouse, and I think did that for 15 years of, I'm just going to ignore these red flags.
Yeah.
And made a different choice, like I'll just go game on my computer
Right.
and ignore the unhappiness in our house, or I'm gonna take kung fu and go out every couple of nights a week and do kung fu to fill my heart and ignore the unhappiness in my house. And finally, got to a place where I couldn't, the 2x4 game.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it
Can't
anymore.
ignore it anymore.
I think it eventually gets there.
Right. So you might as well get off the treadmill and climb the mountain.
Woo! It's so great from the top. The view's way better.